Hey everyone, Roger Haskett here, talking to people in a pandemic. And what I want to talk about here is continuing on the theme from last video. We were talking about uh, the power of play, fighting to be positive. But really, I was talking about how I had jumped up and I was a homing missile for joy, and I had was seeking out joy and went for a hike. I went for a hike. I didn't tell you that I almost never go for hikes. That's like, I like going for walks. Hikes are a different order of business from my point of view. But we had a great time. And that led me to talk about a little bit about thinking about priorities, which led me to think about priorities. And I've been talking with Jenny about this and hearing lots and lots of stuff coming around already at this stage of the pandemic. Already hearing lots of stuff about people talking about the benefits of what we're going through. So not just the challenges, there's a lot of challenges, and not to, again, belittle anyone who's going through horrible stuff or has gone through horrible stuff. Everyone, I hope, his heart goes out to you. Well, that's not true. Lots of people, some people, that's not the case. But I believe, and most people I know, hearts go out to you because who knows, like, how horrible to be going through it. Who knows who's going to be doing it next? Who knows who's going to be doing it later? Like, we're all in this at this point, sort of holding on for the ride, right? We're on the roller coaster. The ride's on. There's no jumping off at this point. So who knows? Having said all that, so I want to talk about priorities. So it seems to me that this is an amazing opportunity that we've been given, that we've been forced into, to reassess our priorities. As I say, reprioritize our priorities. And I've been working at home my whole life. I've had a home office almost my whole life. I think actually my whole life. I sort of went from being a student to being an entrepreneur, and my life didn't change that much in terms of the behavior. I mostly spend my time around my house. I'm very introverted. People don't believe this, but it's totally true. I spend much of my time alone or with very small groups of people that I'm very close to. And then I go out and I perform. And I love to do that. It's a part of my personality, but it's a part that I've developed and groomed and worked on. It certainly wasn't there this way right from the beginning. Anyway, so we're talking about priorities, right? And reprioritizing. So even though I have had this ability to sort of live my life out of my house my whole life, still this pandemic has forced changes on all of us. And I realize I get up in the morning. First of all, I sleep in later and I spend time in bed with my kids. It's amazing to like have 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 5 minutes of like laughing and giggling and a time together. I've got little kids. It's amazing. What a great way to start a day, as opposed to start by, like, what am I got to do to work wise and what's happening for, I got to focus on work. Got to get my head going. So I start work a little later. I'm far more focused around. I've always been focused around what's going on downstairs. I've always believed in breaks. I've always believed in the power of play. Well, more or less, give or take. These are things that I have had as part of my life for a very long time, and yet still I am finding myself reprioritizing things that had shifted down in importance and pulling them back up. And these are the things that we've been talking about. Things about like community and family and friendship, and where I can be the joy, and where are the gratefuls in my life, and where I like, just for a small little example, I phoned my mother up. She's part of our, she's self-isolating, we're self-isolating, and we take care of her and she takes care of us as well. And so we're over there every 3 or 4 days. And I phoned her up after one of the days and just said, hey, I've had the best hot roast beef sandwich I think I've ever had because of your roast beef and gravy. And she was so happy. My mom shows her love through food. That's one of the ways. Not just through food, through the making of food for people. So I just gave her a little, told her why I was grateful about her, why she was the joy to me, and by doing that made her feel the joy because I became the joy to her. Like, it's all this thing that goes around and feeds each other, and we become better and smarter and nicer and more grateful as we follow along this path. So I believe, even right now at the beginning of a pandemic, the fact that we're starting to reach beyond to think about what we want our lives to be like afterwards and how we want them to reflect some of what we're learning about right now, some of the reality of what it means to be slower life, connected more with people than we are through things so much. I don't know if that's true for everyone. Anyway, this is what we're going to be talking more about, because holy cow, what's on the other side, what we can learn right now about what we want on the other side, man, these are amazing things to be able to talk about. I am very excited about it. I'm Roger Haskett. I don't know if you heard that. That was one of my kids screaming at another kid. It's not all, sunny roses over here, or anywhere, I would imagine. I don't even know what sunny roses are. Okay, I'll talk to you when I talk to you next.